governor's mansion. You're listening to the Crow's Corner Podcast.
Yo, it's your boy Adam.
This is Wahame. Sick cuz on the ones and twos, you know what I mean?
Another Friday evening. Blessed to be alive.
Milestone this evening. This is our 20th episode.
And
son.
we're supposed to have a special guest this week, but I guess he canceled on us.
I mean, you know, it's under the
next
weather.
week.
I mean, you get better, you know what I'm saying?
Reschedule.
Yeah, rescheduling, you know, logistics, you know what I mean? So,
before we get into the topic, thoughts and prayers and du'as go out to the families and loved ones of the
49.
people that was killed in the masjid today.
yeah, New Zealand,
New
right?
Zealand.
Yeah. And gunman comes in and shoot them up. And
Room to room.
yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy.
So shots, shout outs and prayers go out to them.
Right.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we gotta stop the hate, y'all. We gotta stop the hate. You know what I mean? You gotta stand up against hatred. You know, in all shapes, forms, and fashions. You know what I mean? So.
And the funny part is, I spoke to my wife not too long ago about this, and I hate when predict something. I won't say predict because I don't have that power to predict anything. I'm not a psychic. But you can see things ahead of time. Mm-hmm. There's a trend. 2 years ago, I believe, a church was shot up in the South. Mm-hmm. White supremacists come in there. They feed him. They sit down. He sit down in Bible study. They read the Bible over with him, and he kills them. In the Monstrous Act. They didn't call that terrorism, but that was terrorism.
Yeah, it's terrorism.
Late 2018, synagogue gets shoot up.
Yeah, terrorism.
You see the pattern here?
Terrorism.
And I told my wife, I said, next is the mosque.
And lo and behold.
Yeah. So
lo and behold.
be vigilant. Yeah. Be on the lookout. Protect yours, and always look out for strange activity. And it saddens me, but it gives me joy to say that because for the longest time, a lot of ethnic groups and, especially over here, African Americans are profiled as being dangerous. And you would never think the last on the totem pole is the Caucasian male or female because we're programmed in our brains to look at them as being harmless people or friendly people. So much so to the point where you're crossing someone of a Caucasian race, and it's not a shot to all Caucasians. I'm just telling it like it is. They smile at you. It's like they never saw you a day in your life, and you're crossing that path, and they just smile. And you ask yourself, okay, maybe 1-2 people, but then, goddamn it, every time I see someone from a Caucasian race, they're smiling. And I came up with my own assumption. It's like you see something that you fearful of, like a vicious dog or something like that. And say you have a Rottweiler in the gate, and he ain't even barking or, he's not even paying you no mind. Mm-hmm. But he just happened to see you, right? Right. The first thing you say is, "Hey, little doggy," or "Hey, a smile," or whatever. That's a fearful smile, Mm-hmm. I have a sibling that every time he get nervous, he laughs.
Right.
You feel me? So we're programmed. We are programmed to look at the Caucasian throughout the world, and this is a program throughout the world. This is a mindset throughout the world, particularly with African or African American people or people of ethnicity, if I'm pronouncing it right, where they would judge each other and fear one another before they fear a Caucasian person because they're looked at in society as harmless, or they looked at in society as in the light of a protector. Correct me, brothers, if I'm wrong.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think what you get into, is the idea of, stereotyping people. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Racial profiling, you know what I mean? And that's why I like platforms like the platform that we have, that we discuss these kind of topics, because it's important to kind of put those things in perspective, we all are, one community, you know what I'm saying, across the globe, in this country. We are all one community, you know what I'm saying, the human race. And it's important that, our dialogue, across, different walks of life is something that's focused on now, so even more than ever, because with the advent of these reemergence of things like neo-Nazism and extremism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People are not talking to each other. We're not having that dialogue. Instead, we just following stereotypes and profiling and ignorance, and it really goes both ways. And I think that's what you alluding to. Is like, not only are African Americans profiled, but Asian Americans are profiled. Caucasians are profiled. You know what I mean? And so it's important to have these kind of dialogues, have these kind of platforms where we're able to have some of these tough discussions to address the matter. Because what happened in New Zealand is an act of terrorism,
straight up
an act of terrorism towards a group of people who a lot of people would sometimes categorize as being part of an extremist or terroristic kind of lifestyle or thinking. So end of the day, let's have these dialogues, let's have these conversations, let's get to the bottom of it, and try to reach out to one another with tolerance, patience, understanding. No matter what your race, creed, religion, ethnic background is, we have to get back to ourselves. And I think just with the climate of our country right now and what's happening not only in America but around the world with this reemergence of hatred and racism and bigotry, we gotta do better
but real
those
quick,
relationships.
I want to ask you a question, because this is not our main topic of the day. It's just that sometimes we just
diverge.
Yeah. Is it a reemergence or it been around?
Good question.
It's just more on stage. It's just more open and abroad.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I say, if you ask me my personal opinion, I think it's always been there, and I think people trying to correct that or improve that way of thinking has always been there too, we just like kind of repeating ourselves in a lot of ways. You say history repeats itself, and that's kind of what it looks like is happening now, almost like reliving our past in a lot of ways. And so we got to learn from and take away from the positive aspects of our past, the inclusiveness and understanding and the tolerance for people of different walks in life and cultures and races and creeds and religions, and get back to trying to be understanding and tolerant of one another.
Stop the hate.
Stop the hate. It's too much of it. We already got enough going on from Monday to Friday. At work. We don't need no more than that. So this is not the topic that we.
Yeah, but we're gonna get into that right now. We're gonna get into that right now.
At the same time, it's important. So once again, this is Crow's Corner. You know what I'm saying? And this
I'm
is
your boy Adam Mill.
And I'm Wah Hamid.
Sick cuz the governor.
And we like to have these platforms to be able to discuss relevant topics in the community, just to, provoke thought and have discussion. And that's really what we're trying to do here. And, we open to y'all suggestions, we open to y'all comments. Feel free to share. That's what it's all about. It's about sharing information and sharing different perspectives and learning from one another. So
and shout out to all the people across the world that listen to this podcast. Look, do us a favor. We're not hard to get along with. send us a comment, you know what I'm saying, and let us know how we doing with the show, and whether you feel a topic, you don't feel a topic, let us know your opinion or your thoughts on things.
Because at the end of the day, as much as this platform is ours, this platform is yours as well. We want to hear from you guys, so we think that's important. So the topic tonight, after we digress for a little bit, has to do with these relationships that we have with one another. These relationships that we have on a personal level every day. And so a big trending issue in our communities, which always really has been, is the relationship between partners, whatever your orientation is. You know what I mean? So we see a change nowadays in how people are interacting with one another. Which is what we just talked about a little while ago. How people are meeting each other, how people are developing relationships, because really there should be emphasis placed on the importance of human relationships. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes we see that a lot of the issues that we face and a lot of challenges that we face is because of the relationships that we have or we don't have. So it's interesting. We looked at this topic from a how can I put it? Maybe like a romantic aspect, if you will. You know what I mean? And so Match.com, which is a well-known dating site, right? They conducted a study, and the study really is interesting because it talks about, in a lot of ways, how people are interacting with one another on a regular basis. And so we like to bring y'all facts, not just rhetoric, from the top of the brain. So one thing that stood out to me while I was checking out this study. Oh yeah, and anybody who wants to see the study, go to match.mediaroom.com, and you'll see the study for yourself. It says the study is titled "Singles in America." Match releases the largest study on U.S. single population for its 8th year. So for 8 years, this site has been up, and people have been utilizing this site. And something that stands out automatically for me when I see this is that what's the exact number? A large amount of people utilize dating apps now when forming relationships. So that's kind of staggering. You know what I'm saying? You think about it.
Why is that? Because we living in a digital age, or
a lot of
find it more comfortable to do so?
I mean, a lot of it has to do, again, with the advent of technology, which is a common theme. And it's a common theme that not only that we have had on this platform, but in a lot of our previous discussions, how does technology and human interaction intertwine? As the technology becomes more advanced, is it helping us or is it hindering us? And so this kind of expands on that. I'm an OG. I'm an old head, as I like to call myself. You know what I'm saying? I come from a time when if you wanted to meet someone you were interested in, you would have to approach them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, during our era, they did have the dating lines. You had to pick up the house phone, and I know a lot of youth don't know what a house phone is. That's almost prehistoric. It stink like a payphone. But back in our time, they had the dating lines too. But you literally had to pick up the phone and dial a certain number and press a certain button and talk to people and then hook up almost like a blind date. But like you said, now you can just go online and